Hello, everybody, and welcome to the United Stand Fan Forum. Manchester United 3, Norwich 2, or should we say Ronaldo 3, Norwich 2. It is finally a win that we can discuss on the forum. I mean, the performance wasn't amazing, but it is a win. Kev, how are you?
Very, very, very well. At 2-2, I wasn't. I won't lie to you. I thought that game was going to slip away from us, but absolutely delighted. I think when you look at the results earlier on in the day, obviously Arsenal getting beaten, Tottenham, it's kind of a pivotal day, isn't it, really? And I know we're pissing around trying to beat Norwich and stuff, but we've done what we had to do today, and that's all we could do today. I think it's a big result, Beth.
Exactly. Arsenal got beat, Spurs got beat. Holly, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Bit better after the win, but like Ev said, at 2-2, I was ready to. I just wish the fan forum would have started then. To be honest, I was ready to
go. Jordan, how are you?
Yeah.
DJing tonight?
Yeah, DJ today, DJing tonight, but what a roller coaster of emotions being a United fan. 2-0 up, absolutely flying, starting to look at the table thinking, this possible. 2-2, ready to end it all. Don't want to support the club, doing my nutting. And then Ronaldo then with the match winner. Unbelievable scenes.
Well, that's the thing. It was like, you've seen Spurs get beat, you've seen Arsenal get beat, and you're like, oh, wait, hang on a second. I was right in top four off. Maybe it's back on. But to be honest, with the fixtures we've got coming up next week, I think we'll get brought right back down to earth, to be honest with you, on them ones. But as you said, Kev, brilliant result. Wasn't such a brilliant performance, was it? Like, to be honest, watching the Everton game, watching the Norwich game, not much difference in my opinion. I feel like the performances were both very, very poor. But on Ronaldo, give him a chance, he's going to score it. Is Ronaldo what's going to be really important for us in the games that's coming up as well?
Yeah, I think after that performance today from Ronaldo, you have to look, and people have questioned Ronaldo and said that he's part of the problem, or he is the problem at Manchester United. He isn't the problem. You know, he's a solution for us. And there is nobody better in that position. He's proved that today. A hat-trick. The first two goals are playing to his strengths. It's literally, you know, Elanga puts it on a plate for him for the first goal. The second goal, a great ball in, header. And we've said it loads of times. It sounds so easy to say, but if you give this guy service, he's going to score goals. And the third goal just absolutely wrapped it up today. He is the greatest of all time. He's the best player that I have ever seen. It's remarkable at the age that he is. And like I say, you get people like Graham Souness, Paul Merson throwing in, you know, the spanner in the works, saying he's finished. And like I say, he's a problem at Manchester United. A problem? Jesus. Nice problem to have. He's a match winner. Absolute match winner today. And it's just fantastic to see. He is timeless. It's just a Rolls Royce of a footballer. And any kid that's coming through at Manchester United, look up to him, ask him what he's doing, how he trains, whatever, because you could learn so much from him. It's just pure. The guy's a god, man. It's pure greatness. Yeah. It was brilliant to see that today.
All that talk the other day about Ten Hag not fancying him and whatnot. Ten Hag sat watching that game today, and he's going to be like, I'm glad Ronaldo's in the camp.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, without him, where would we be? Realistically, we'd be right out of the top four race. He got us through the Champions League group stages by the skin of his teeth. Like, he carried us through that. And now today, same against Spurs. Hat-trick wins us the game. Hat-trick wins us the game against Norwich. I mean, Norwich, 20% of their away goals have now been scored at Old Trafford this season. So it's one of them where this is a very, very poor side, bottom of the league. Holly, that performance, how acceptable was that for you? I mean, considering how poor Norwich are, to be sticking 2 goals past us at Old Trafford is embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really embarrassing. Like, they've only scored 10 goals this season, and 2 of them have come at Old Trafford, so it is really embarrassing for them. And they weren't amazing. They had 2 chances and they scored, in my opinion. I know David De Gea saved in the second half again for them to go 3-2 up, but they weren't anything special. Them chances they conceded, it's just basic. When 3 out of 4 of our back 4 aren't performing up to standard, of course we're going to concede chances like that. And even in terms of playing as a team as well, it only took one attacker to track back and get back and track the runner that did score the goal. So just simple things again that we need to pick up on, and we lack again just simple cohesion in the team. No, like communication again in the back. Maguire being dragged out of position, Tellez being dragged forward. And can I just say as well, I think Tellez was terrible today. He really was. Like, he is poor defensively, and even attacking, he doesn't bring us much. So I no wonder we're looking for someone in the fullbacks. And I don't think Dalot was much better either.
Yeah, that's the problem. I feel like our fullbacks are so off the pace when you look at all of the other fullbacks at top clubs. Like, generally they are miles off it, to be fair to you. And it's like the inconsistency as well. Like, some days they'll turn up, and then some days they'll be absolutely horrific, which I agree. Tellers was very, very poor today. Jordan, both the goals came from mistakes. It could be arguable Maguire or Tellers' fault. For me, it was both of them. What are your takes on the 2 goals that we conceded? Do you think it do you think Maguire is to come under some criticism again? I mean, he wasn't directly involved, but his positioning, I've not seen anything like it, honestly. It's like it feels like he's very unaware of his surroundings when he's on the pitch, which is a bit worrying for an £80 million defender.
A back four should be almost like a brotherhood. There should be a telepathic understanding between all 4 of them, that they know their position, who's going to attack, who's going to sit back. There is absolutely zero chemistry between our back 4. It's unbelievable. And a lot of it will always lie on Harry's shoulders because he's the captain. And even if he wasn't the captain, he should be able to lead the back 4, at a bare minimum. He should be able to talk to the players next to him. And he just can't do it. And you're right about Tellez. I think he's had games this season where I've looked at him and gone, you know what? He's lively. There's a player in there, but today he was dog shite today. Really, really not good. And then you can make a case for each of the defenders that we could potentially replace them all. Like, it really wasn't good today. And this is why there's no game in the season that you look at and we're confident going into this game against Norwich. I looked at it, I was like, it could be another banana skin. Just like Everton, there's no game that you look at and you're overly confident. And you're right, Beth. You look at the games that we've got to come, and we didn't convincingly beat this team today. We're going to have a tough time. We are going to have a tough time in the next couple of games again.
I mean, in the background I had 2 games on it once. I had the Liverpool and City game on at the same time, and the way Liverpool are playing, I am not looking forward to that game, especially like how slow our tempo was as well. Like, obviously it's good we've got the 3 points, trying not to be too negative, but it's hard when you like, I was watching it, I was like, feels like a training game a little bit to me. Like, did you feel that, Kev? Did you think, going into the weeks ahead, if this team coming out trying to prove something, you set the tempo to be up a little bit more, don't you?
Yeah, and you expected that after the Everton game last week, which we were obviously all disappointed about. You can see the difference in the teams. You've got Everton, who are fighting for their lives, and a Manchester United team who half of them, as Jordan always says, have kind of checked out. And it's almost like they haven't got anything to play for. Now we have, and some of us have been on here and said, Champions League football, you're having a laugh and that. But this weekend just shows how quickly it can turn. And a team like Norwich today, again, potential banana skin. You've got a team that are fighting for their lives. And for me, it was all about how Manchester United respond to that. Did they want top 4? You've got the likes of maybe Lingard, who I was surprised was included in the starting 11. But you have to roll with it, don't you? You look at it and think, well, fair enough, he's in the team. He goes out there. But we know deep down he won't be at Manchester United. The same with Paul Pogba. There's other players in that squad that will not be at Manchester United next season. But positivity-wise, that is a big day today, because you wouldn't have expected Tottenham and Arsenal both to drop points. And it would have been typical Manchester United the way we are at the minute if we'd have drawn that game today, and not made any ground up or even got beat at worst. But we have done the business. Kev's happy. I'm sure a lot of people will be happy, because barring the next game that comes up, which is Liverpool, which is a monumental task, it's going to be very difficult. We still have to play Arsenal. So I'm not saying it's in our hands, but we can certainly give it a good go. You think a few weeks back, we were more or less saying Europa Conference League, here we come, but we can still do this. It's not mathematically impossible. It's just, we need a run of form, don't we? And today, it doesn't really fill you with much confidence.
I said you're falling into the trap again, Kev, where your hopes start to creep.
I know.
It is possible, but it's like you said, the games we've got coming up, and hopefully don't play without a CDM in them games that have got coming up. Because I mean, to go in without a CDM against Norwich, in my opinion, that was a mistake by the manager. I think it was a little bit offensive to Norwich, and we got punished in the end because of that. You've got Lingard, you've got Pogba, both starting in the starting 11, both leaving at the end of this season. Doesn't fill you with much promise, because I mean, they're not going to be fighting for Champions League the same way that other players might have the intention to do so, because they're stuck with this team now. Holly, what did you actually make of Lingard's performance? His first start in, I think it was like 13 appearances. His last 13 appearances have been sub appearances. His first start in a long time. What did you make of his performance?
When I saw the team lineup, I actually dreaded Lingard a little bit, because one, he's going in the summer anyway, potentially. So why are we now focusing on players that will be leaving us anyway? I think we should just try and stick with what we've got and try and get as much out of them players as possible. Like, if Lingard does have a good game, and I think he did have a good game, I'm actually quite impressed with Lingard. I think with Bruno being sat deeper, Lingard was reading the game very well, and he was just keeping it simple. And I don't actually think he deserved to be subbed off when he did, because I think there was worse players that did stay on the pitch. But what do we kind of want out of Lingard having a good game? Like, will we offer him a contract now, or if he potentially scored today, what would that lead to? But I was happy with Lingard today. Like Kev said, I'm trying to stay positive, but you just think more and more about the second half. And in the first half, to be fair, I was really positive. All the points that I'd written down were good points, and they were positive points about how we were playing and how we were kind of, I think we kept the ball for a little bit too long sometimes, but we created some chances. Lingard got a shot on goal, which I think led that then led to Ronaldo's goal. Elanga played very well, I thought. He was good pressing. Lingard was pressing. Some good points in the first half, but second half lacked a little bit again. But we're used to that now, I suppose.
Well, that's the thing. I actually thought Lingard was one of our better players, and I was pretty impressed with his work ethic. I thought he was one of the ones that was pressing the best out of all the players, and I think he looked hungry to actually put in a decent performance, which I thought he did. I agree with you. I don't think he should have got subbed off first. Do you think, Jordan, with him being subbed off first, is that an indication of things to come? Do you think he can still give us something in the race for top 4 this season? Because we seem to completely eliminate him out of the squad, really, out of our minds. But I thought he did decent today, and I mean, he's played better than Rashford has in recent weeks, arguably better than Sancho in some phases of the game. He was decent.
Playing better than Rashford's not difficult at the moment, because I thought Rashford was absolutely shocking again. For me, he's not signing a new contract. He's made all the noises that he wants to leave. I wouldn't play him. There's other players on the bench that should be playing over him. Yeah, he may have looked lively, but you know, what's the end goal here? What are we doing? You know, putting him in a shop window for him to go somewhere else. Like, I hate that. I hate that we're in this position, that the squad is so threadbare. We've got to play players that don't want to be here. You know, it's a really crap position to be in. But you're right. There was some really poor performances. We got to give a mention to Bruno. You know, I am a big Bruno fan. I've sat on this channel and I've defended him when people have called him a stat pattern and whatnot. But, you know, the way he's playing at the moment, there's no way we should have offered him a new contract. He really isn't having a great season. He just doesn't seem to be busting a gut for us. His head seems to drop. And he just isn't playing well. And I think he's somebody that needs a new manager to come in and give him a lift and give him some sense of direction, because the player that we signed isn't that player that we're seeing now put on the shirt. And yeah, back to Lingard. Sorry. No, I wouldn't be playing him.
Yeah, it's hard because we've not really got that many options. I mean, you see Garnacho on the bench today and Hannibal as well. You think maybe they might get a little bit of a run out. Unfortunately, didn't. Instead, you see 30-odd-year-old Juan Mata coming off the bench again, which it's just the sign of what this club has been doing. We're holding on to players for too long. So hopefully, go on, Jordan.
I was just going to say, but the difference is with Mata and Lingard. Like, you know, for me, Mata is respectful. He carries himself in a professional manner, you know, and does what he does. So the fact that he hasn't had many appearances, when he comes on, I don't look at it and go, oh, for fuck's sake, he might not be in the summer. Why is he playing? But the whole Lingard thing is just left a really sour taste in my mouth, the way it's ending. And you look at the opposite end of the spectrum, Elanga, pat that guy on the back, 2 assists today, tries his heart out, clearly wants to be at the club and loves it. And that's the kind of person that we need to be pulling on the shirt.
That is literally my next point that I was going to move on to. You've got someone like Elanga there, which I thought, yeah, he might not be the best player that we have. He might not be, but he put everything into that performance today. He got us started with the first goal, pressing, just hungry, to get hold of the ball and actually do stuff with it. And I thought him and Ronaldo's relationship showed to be quite strong today. I thought they worked really well together. Kev, Elanga, can you see why he's starting over the likes of Rashford at the moment? I mean, the body language is so much different when each one of them is on the pitch.
Yeah. Total opposite for me to Marcus Rashford. Desire, passion, work rate, looks like he's arsed, looks like he'll do anything to be a Manchester United player. He's trying to find his feet at Manchester United, and it's a total stark contract to Marcus Rashford at the minute. I think his demeanour, his body language, you can read into it a bit too much sometimes, but it's there to be seen. And you look at Marcus Rashford and you think, what has happened to this lad? Nobody knows, do we? We hear speculation that he might want to move away from Manchester United, and that maybe it's for the best. And we're at this point now, to be honest. Yeah, he's a Manchester lad, whatever. I'm not bothered. If he wants to leave, if somebody wants to take him, fair enough. I'd rather have somebody like Anthony Elanga or one of the other kids that are coming through. Give them an opportunity. These are the lifeblood, and they will be at Manchester United for the rest of their career. You would hope so. So it's just a conveyor belt at Manchester United. We've done it. That's what Manchester United do. So, since the Busby Babes, it's literally a conveyor belt of talent, and it comes through. And Manchester United will always promote youth. That's because what they do. And if they're good enough, they're old enough, as the old saying goes. So somebody like Elanga, I mentioned about Ronaldo earlier. I would like to think that Elanga probably obviously looks up to Ronaldo, and you're going to learn so much from that in training, because he's going to be basically looking at Ronaldo and thinking, wow. But again, he looks interested. He looks like somebody who wants to learn from other players, and he wants to succeed at United. That's what you want.
It makes you think what who Ronaldo was talking about when he came out and did that interview and was like, some of the younger players don't really want to listen now. Like, they think like they don't want to listen to people like me, where I was in the position I did. Obviously, Elanga wants to, so I wonder who it actually was who doesn't really want to listen to Ronaldo. It's interesting to think about the dynamics of the squad. But Holly, Rashford, for you, got to talk about him, because he's just not the player that I recognise. And each week when he comes off the bench, I think maybe this time he'll put in a better performance. He'll start to turn his form around. Is there any coming back for Rashford this season, or do you think that this is his season over now? Do you think he's written it off for himself? That's what it seems like when he's on the pitch.
Yeah, nobody expects any more of Rashford when he comes on now either. I mean, that left back, the Norwich's left back today had a field day when Rashford came on. Even their left midfielder pushing up was having a field day. Every time Rashford got the ball, it was just so easy to defend against him. Rashford was just going to knock it on towards the front of him, and then they just get the ball and they break from there again. Every time Elanga made the recovery and got the ball forward, Rashford lost it again. So that was the only danger we had towards the end of the second half, was just like constantly losing the ball at Rashford again. But we're just so used to seeing that now from Rashford. It really is the same thing, different day. It like at what point do we say it's just a write-off? Leave him off the bench, for God's sake. Like, leave him, get rid of him, because he's not offering anything new every game. And one of these days he will come on and he'll lose the ball, and we've probably seen it before, and they'll attack and they'll score. We're lucky today they didn't. Elanga, when he dropped back to right back, played really, really well. Really, really solid. He was making clean tackles, trying to get the ball forward as far as Rashford, but then again, just Rashford losing the ball again. We're just so used to it now.
That's the thing, and Ten Hag isn't going to put up with players that are dispossessed that easily and lose the ball all that often. So it's interesting. Jordan, would you actually play, like, would you bring a Garnacho off the bench over Rashford at the minute? Is that how you feel about him right now?
1,000%. 1,000%. Well, it can't be any worse, can it?
That's the thing.
We are at rock bottom, so let's start looking at the future. These are players that potentially are not going to be here. That's my whole point about Lingard. Well, what's the end goal? We're playing him now. okay, he plays well. He ain't signing. There's no longevity with it. But you've got players in the youth. Well, let's have a look at them then. Let's see what they're about. You know, this is the situation we're in. But like Kev said, you look at that table, and you know, I'm not going to sit here saying top four is a possibility. I was one of the first on the channel to say that we didn't have a chance, but there is a chance.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and I could just keep hearing Jay in my head talking about the hope will kill you, but there is a chance. But we are Manchester, we are about the youth. Let's have a look at it. It can't get any worse. We've got these players, and there's great hope for some of these lads. Let's give them a go and see where it goes from there.
Honestly, shout out to Jay. He's coaching his under-9s team today. I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be a player on that team.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, maybe United should go there trying to look for a few academy players. I bet he's got him in top shape, Jet. But anyway,
well drilled.
Exactly. I mean, just on Rashford, then he like we said, the season basically potentially is over for him now. For me, like when he's coming off not being able to make any impacts coming off the bench. Kev, would you sell him in summer? Just an interesting question to throw out there, because I feel like a lot of people are like, no, we can never sell Rashford. But now I'm on the point where I feel a lot more people are open to the idea.
It really comes down to the next man in charge, doesn't it, really? You think Erik Ten Hag, I mean, if he comes in and sees something in... I mean, Rashford must train very well because he is given opportunities. From what we see on the pitch, we look some weeks and think, God, this guy is really awful. He's going backwards in comparison to what he was. If Erik Ten Hag looks at him and thinks this is a bit of a project, I can get the best out of him, then yeah, I would love to see him stay at Manchester United. But going back to my point earlier, I'm really not. But if he wants to go, who would want him? I don't know. We are going down the kind of route at the minute. It's like Rashford's not. It wouldn't be the end of the world, would it? You wouldn't lose any sleep over it. It's not like in the past where we've lost players like the likes of Ronaldo when he left United. You were absolutely devastated. When Cantona, decided to retire from football, they were devastating events where you look at and you think, God, can we ever move forward? But you do as a football club. And for me, Rashford isn't a massive part of it. He's not a massive part of Manchester United at the minute. Maybe he needs to have a look in the mirror and decide what he wants to do, because I'm just not seeing it on the pitch. And the fact that he's on the bench and he's coming on for these little cameos probably tells you everything you need to know about Rashford at the minute. Has he been given too much too young? A lot of these footballers have. You get the big contract and all of a sudden your performance level dips, and there's probably some truth element to that. There's certainly with Rashford, you give him all this sort of power and whatever, and maybe he believes the hype. A lot of young English talent, there's been loads of them, haven't there? They write about him in the media, they build him up for England and all that, and he's the next this, he's the next that. He's the next Wayne Rooney. I don't think he is, man. No chance. He's not. At this moment in time, he's not even fit enough to lace Rooney's boots. You look at what Rooney did for Manchester United, but the same state. Well, Wayne Rooney said recently, didn't he? He come out and said Rashford basically needs to get his arse in gear and that. And I think a lot of us United fans can relate to that, because it's great hearing it from an ex-legend like Wayne Rooney, and you go, absolutely bob on. Rashford needs to take that into his head and go, geez, Wayne Rooney's just saying here that I need to basically sort my shit out, and that's what he needs to do.
That's the thing. It's better sometimes the players hearing it from players like that, because they actually might listen to them. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. But like you said, I don't think there's really any hope with him even coming off the bench anymore, which is it's sad to be honest, but it is what it is. Moving on, Bruno, Pogba, Lingard midfield situation. No CDM today. When I saw the team lineup, I was like, Where's Matic? Where is he? And you realise he's on the bench. What did you actually make of Bruno playing a bit deeper alongside Pogba, Holly? Because we've seen Bruno playing as that false 9 role, on pushing up so close to the striker. Did you like him in a deeper role today? Obviously his performance was quite poor, but overall, did you like him in the deep role?
Yeah, I much preferred him in the deeper role because it forced him to take hold of the ball a little bit more, whereas we're used to seeing Bruno further up the pitch and kind of just getting rid of it as quick as he can, which proved in the second half, obviously, because Lingard came off and Matic dropped deeper. Every time Bruno got the ball, he would just lay it off to someone else really quick, on target, off target, not really taking any care of it. So I think in that aspect, he had to hold the ball a little bit longer because we were still transitioning up the pitch in the first half. Whereas I actually think Pogba held the midfield quite well in the first half. I'm not sure whether that's because Norwich decided to sit back and see what we're made of in the first half, which is when we scored the 2 goals. But I definitely think we looked more dangerous when Bruno was deeper because I think Lingard was reading the game a little bit more. He was getting into the pockets, and Lingard is more of a quick passer, like simple passes, whereas Bruno sometimes tries to overcomplicate it. So I was actually a fan of Bruno being a bit deeper today.
Yeah, I agree with you. Jordan, what do you think about it? Also, Pogba in the CDM role. Pogba's played CDM, he's played left wing, he's played false 9. I mean, he's not got a permanent position in this team, really, has he?
No, he hasn't. And once again, it's just another manager trying to find a hole to slot him into. I think the Matic thing, I looked at it, he really can't play a lot of games in quick succession. And with Liverpool coming up, that's probably the game that we're going to need him for. So I'm hoping he was saved to play then. And you would look at it and look at where Norwich are in the league. Those players should be able to beat Norwich. Clearly, we struggled. But I can understand the thinking behind not starting him. And let's be honest, we've played most of the season without a CDM, haven't we? Let's be honest. So it's nothing new, is it? But another manager trying to unlock Pogba, and it just isn't really happening, is it?
Exactly. At least you've got someone there who could actually pass the ball out from deep. But I actually think, Kev, the midfield in the first half, passing wise, was better without McTominay or Fred in there. I do feel like we lost the ball a lot less. That's one of the positives that I could bring out of it. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I suppose at 2-0 up, I thought we were absolutely cruising. And you're watching it, you're looking at statistics or whatever coming through the United possession, kept the ball, and you're thinking, God, this could be 4 or 5, this could be, you've more or less forgotten what it was like for Manchester United to win a game. So Kev's getting excited, and then all of a sudden you kind of shot back down, and we know that the midfield area is an area that Manchester United need to invest in. And we more or less say it every week. We look and go, everybody's midfield's better than Manchester United's at the minute. It's about getting the right mix, the right blend. Pogba's a quality player, don't get me wrong, but he's another one that is not going to be at Manchester United next season. And the strange thing is, even like Lingard starting today, you kind of look at it and it's almost like, I don't know what the deal is, because it's like Jordan said then, I'd prefer to play somebody like Juan Mata, just purely because he wants to be at Manchester United, where Lingard and Pogba are clearly going to be leaving. But Manchester United are still in with a shout of finishing top 4. So from their sort of point of view, they're like, well, we haven't got nothing to play for. We can still finish in top 4. So they've got to use these players that we know that are really just kind of flirting and putting themselves in the shop window. That's all it is today. If West Ham look and go, oh, Lingard played well there, we'll offer him a contract. Same if PSG are looking at Pogba and going, oh, Pogba had a good game. And it's a weird situation to be in, because we're not used to this at Manchester United. There is an acceptance that a lot of these players, even Matic has announced that he's going to leave Manchester United. We know there's going to be a massive clear out this summer, and it's how the new manager really reacts to this. But there's make no argument about it, man. The midfield area should be the main engine room of that football team. Look at any of them top teams in English football, world football. They have an engine room, a blend, a mix. We've not had that for years. Since probably the likes of maybe, well, obviously Roy Keane, but even a Michael Carrick, a Paul Scholes, somebody like that. We've just pissed around for years, man. It's been heartbreaking to watch the likes of Fred, McTominay. I don't get it. I really don't. Like I say, you come up against a team like Wolves, Moutinho, Neves outplay us. Come up against a team like Everton last week, I thought our midfield was better than theirs on paper, just totally outrun and out-dominated us. And that is the area of the pitch that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should have been addressed ages ago, this.
Yeah, finally, with Matic leaving, it looks like it is going to be addressed this summer. I mean, they've got to now that he's leaving, which is good because we can't be carrying players that can only play 20 minutes a game or one match. You need a player that can play games in succession and be fit to play. And Matic just seemingly can't do that anymore. It's the only explanation that we can come up with. And I seen that Chouamini had someone found that he'd retweeted that a Michael Carrick shirt. Has anyone seen that? I was like, so I've got my fingers crossed on that one now. But Jordan, the starting 11 today, you look at that starting 11, personally for me, I think it's a weak team. How many of them players do you actually see starting for us next season?
The issue is, I think they'll be forced to, because we can only sign so many. You know, that's the issue. So we're not going to suddenly throw a load of money at the fullbacks. I think De Gea's fine. Centre backs, if we bring another centre back in, you'd like to think it's the new centre back plus Varane if Varane's fit. Midfield, Bruno safe, and Ronaldo. See, you're looking at like 5, really. But that goes back to the fact that we need to sign 5 to 6 players, which is effectively a new spine of a team. And this is what I'm saying. This team is in desperate need to get to the end of the season and begin the rebuild. Because, yes, we picked up 3 points, but let's not forget the roller coaster that the game was. At one point, we were 2-2, and Norwich were on top in that game. You know, we're lucky that we've got somebody with the ability of Ronaldo up top that isn't going to be with us long term to pull us out. Because apart from that, there wasn't really much else to really cheer about.
No, I agree with you. And it's like watching that game today, I thought fullbacks wise, it needs addressing. I'm not going to lie. And we've said the 3 signings in the summer will probably be a striker, a midfielder, and a centre back. But looking at the game today, I think we can't go into another season just not having the consistency at the fullbacks. Looking at Ronaldo's performance today, Holly, and the way he got that hat-trick again, he's a poacher. And I think under Erik ten Hag's system, he can be used as a poaching goal scorer. We know his fitness levels are great. We know that. Would you be looking, if Ronaldo is willing to stay for another year, would you be looking diverting that money for a striker into possibly going for fullbacks instead and just waiting another year on the striker front? Or do you think it's important that we prioritise the striker over that?
Yeah, he's got it in every aspect, really, Ronaldo. He's got the finishing, obviously, in the set pieces, which we saw today. He's still got the free kicks, which a little bit less nowadays, but he's still got it clearly. He's one of the best headers in the game, which I think is quite a big aspect of Ten Hag's game. He brings the fullbacks into the game quite a lot, but the quality of the deliveries from the fullbacks and Sancho and obviously Elanga's pass gave Ronaldo the first goal, but Sancho's passing was slightly off it today, a little bit sloppy, a little bit lazy. The fullbacks, every time they crossed the ball into the box, it couldn't beat the first defender. So I think if we have the right people delivering into Ronaldo, he's always in the best positions. He's always looking to get into the best positions where he can get the ball easiest to score, even in a corner when he's got people like Harry Maguire and Varane in there. He's still the first one up, and he's still the one that looks most dangerous in there. So you can't really expect more from Ronaldo. Like, we didn't have loads and loads of chances today, but yet he scored 3 goals, which is like unheard of in the Premier League to score hat tricks nowadays. Like, only the very best do it, and obviously Ronaldo's done it twice this season, which just complements Ronaldo again. There's not much more he can do to his game, but we can build on creating him chances, and we haven't been doing that very much lately. So as long as we kind of do that under Ten Hag, we'll be scoring more goals next season.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, give Ronaldo the chances. He's going to score the goals. Kev, you make me laugh with your face when you're reading the comments.
That's comment of the day there. I love that. Only Man United can make beating Norwich look like trying to land on the moon. I love that.
honestly, the way that we play these games against, no offense to Norwich, but poor teams, we honestly we make them look like top 4
Prime
teams.
Barcelona, yeah.
And that's what I'm worried about with Liverpool. That it could. I've seen a comment in the chat saying it could be another massacre. It generally could be. Like it generally could be like a 5-6-0. Like it's that bad, especially if we don't turn up for the game, which we haven't seemed to be recently. But Ronaldo could be an indication of where we wait. What? I'm sorry. I got my words mixed up there. Going forward, Ronaldo could help us through the next 2 games. I just saw a comment and it put me off what I was saying. Kev, how important is it if we get the chances to Ronaldo? Do you see top 4? Can we do it?
Yeah, man. Of course we can do it. That's why I said it earlier. Honestly, today has made me realise, and the fact Arsenal are, I know they've got injury problems, but they are having a wobble. I would certainly not have betted on, was it Brighton beating Tottenham today? I certainly didn't see that coming. I thought, if anyone, Tottenham is in prime sort of pole position to take that sort of like 4th spot or Champions League spot. We can give this a go now. But at the same time, listen, today is not convincing, but it's one of them, innit? You just look at it and go, we've played to Ronaldo's strengths today. And I've said it so many times before. You've got the best probably header in world football, yet we never put any crosses in. And that baffles me. I'm like, do you not play to this guy's strengths? You know, you need to use him properly. You know, you whip in a ball there today, put it on his head, bang, it's in. You know, put one on a plate again for Malanga, more or less like a tap in. And then the third goal's like a wonder strike. Manchester United can get top 4 this season. And if they do, Ronaldo will be the main instigator of this. And like I said earlier, you've got these pundits and that wrote Ronaldo off before he even kicked a ball at Manchester United, questioning his age, his motivation or whatever for coming back to Manchester United. Was it financial? It wasn't financial. He's got a love affair with Manchester United and he's come back. If he manages to get United into the top 4, I'll be forever grateful. And I'm not looking at it as a great achievement. You know, I know we feel as sort of supporters we're going down the Arsenal route here. If we finish top 4, I'm not talking about open top bus parades. You know, I won't be cracking open the champagne and all that and celebrating it, because the minimum Manchester United should be doing is playing Champions League football every season. But this season, we've got a hell of a fight on our hands. If we do make it, Ronaldo will more or less solely be responsible for it. And can I just give a shout out to Harry Maguire today as well? I know we've not touched on it. It is to do with football, but how did he even manage to kick Paul Pogba like a roundhouse kick in the head?
You see,
Harry, that is our club captain, man. What a man. I don't know.
Pogba's face afterwards, he was absolutely fuming as well, weren't he?
Like, he punched the floor about 4 or 5 times. I was like, Harry Maguire. Only Harry Maguire could do that.
I was hoping Pogba knew who did it as well.
Yeah.
That's up there with when Tyson Fury punched himself in the face. Like it's one of those moments that'll just get clipped and just showed forever and ever. Yeah. If we finish second, that's second. What am I talking about? If we finish 4th, I put it up there with the season when we did finish second, when it was a case of, you know, the other teams around us allowed us to finish second. We do not deserve to finish 4th. Clearly, you know, but nobody seems to want 4th.
Race.
Yeah, it is.
That's pathetic.
It's some achievement for Rangnick. When you think what Rangnick's come in and what he's taken on, you know, some people will say he's bitten off more than he can chew, and I'm sure he has probably had sleepless nights and thought, "What, Christ to God, why have I even bothered doing this?" But if he does somehow steer us into that top 4, it's an unbelievable achievement considering he's got players that have down tools, players that aren't playing for him, players questioning him, players questioning the next manager coming in. You know, it's just an absolute minefield that he's trying to navigate through, really.
Honestly, if we actually manage to get top 4, I still don't think we will. But if we did, then it would be like the year when Mourinho said coming second with that United team was his best ever achievement. It would be like it was. We don't deserve it. But looking at it, it is plausible now. You look at that table, Jordan, start to get a little bit more excited for the upcoming games.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Jordan said we're finishing second.
No.
Really gonna.
For the upcoming games, Jordan, do you look at it and you think, do you go to Anfield and play a team that Ricky would be proud to put out on the pitch with the amount of defensive players that would be in it? Do you go there and do you switch out Dallo, who seems to be the better right back? It has been the better right back, for Wan-Bissaka, who's got more defensive elements to his game. Do you start looking at these things now, or do you just go and play your game? Do you would if you were Ralph, would you be overthinking it?
But play our game. I don't know what our game is.
That's the thing, isn't it?
That's the issue. Like, it's not like we've got a tried and tested way to play teams and we go, do you know what? That works with us. We don't. Like, I genuinely, anytime we go onto the pitch, I don't know what to expect. You know, like I said earlier, there's not one game I'm looking at and I'm confident that we're going to go and get a result. I wasn't confident going into this game. It's Holly's Wi-Fi kicking it again. Yeah, so I honestly don't know. I look at it and I think, yeah, you probably would play a Wan-Bissaka rather than Dalot. I think Wan-Bissaka has had good games against Liverpool in the past. But again, it's just like I said earlier, there's no chemistry between that back four. We seem to be chopping and changing. And that's one area of the pitch that you want to have positions cemented so they can build that understanding. I really do think that he was saving Matic for that game. I'd like to think so. And Matic goes and plays 60 minutes against Liverpool. They're so strong in the middle of the park. And you know what we like against teams that have a decent midfield, a better midfield than us, which is 95% of the league. We struggle. So we need to plug that hole.
Yeah. Holly, looking forward to the matches. I think if I honestly don't believe that we will get a result against Liverpool, but if there's any possible chance to get one, it would be trying to grind out a 0-0 and trying to win it in the last 10 minutes of the game. I think we'll be way far gone by then, unfortunately, just from the performance that we've had this season. That's what my personal opinion is. But if there is a chance, you've got to take it. Do you go more defensive in that game? Do you change it up? Do you put, for example, like if McTominay or Fred come back in, do you go with a Matic, McTominay, Fred? Do you go with the back five? Do you think about them things?
Honestly, my thought is good luck to Rangnick, because I do not know how he's going to set up on Tuesday. I honestly don't know, unless we put a back 11. I really don't know how we're going to get through that game. Any kind of way we set up, even if we set up all out attacking, I think they'll just outscore us. So I can't even see us scoring a goal against them. So I think a 0-0 would be, I think if we keep it less than 5, then we'll be happy with that. But I just really don't like, and I'm quite positive before match days. I like pump myself up, and I'll get myself up in the mood for a win, but I just can't see it. I just think we just got to write off whatever happens Tuesday. If by any means we get a miracle, then let's celebrate it like we've won the league, because I just cannot see us getting a result. Not at all.
And that's a sad thing about it as well. I reckon all four of us here obviously don't see us getting a result against Liverpool. That's how far off it we are now. Even when we've been poor in the past, you've been able to go there and get a result. Like we've been able to beat Manchester City's on our day. You've been able to beat Liverpool's on our day. Just can't see it happening now. Kev, is there any chance?
No, not really. Do you know what I was going to say then when we were talking about like flat back 10s and all that? And I'm thinking maybe we could put like Dean Henderson and De Gea, both in net. Is that against the law, or can we just throw the two of them in net? And that's what it is going to be for me. It's kind of damage limitation. And we know you're just going to get totally outplayed. If we play a Fred and Matic or a Fred and McTominay, it's all right. Yeah, they give you a bit of defensive cover, but against the better teams this season, we've been it's been embarrassing. You think of the Liverpool match at Old Trafford, there was people leaving in their thousands at half time. They'd seen enough. It was tough to take on the back of being beat and embarrassed by Manchester City as well. You come up against a team that's got a decent midfield, like I said earlier, which most Premier League teams have, then Manchester United are going to cause problems. And I wouldn't even know how to set up. I know I joked then saying, could we play 2 goalkeepers? I wouldn't know what angle to turn at. Even seeing the team today, the fact that Lingard's played, Pogba's played, I'm like, Liverpool now looking ahead to that. I wouldn't even know where to start. I would not know what to do at all, because you know what's coming. We don't have a style of football. We don't have an identity as a team. Liverpool do. And we know Liverpool are like Manchester City. They are not going to change that. You know exactly what's going to happen, but they're just that good. There's nothing you can do about it. We are not as good as them. It's not like we can match them man for man, passion, pride, whatever. It goes out the window because technically, man for man, you know how many Manchester United players would get in that Liverpool team?
No.
Honestly, that's where I'm at now. It's the same.
Yeah, I can't wait to start.
When you do predicted teams against Manchester City, the same thing, and that is how far we have fallen. You could literally look at it and go, no United player are getting either of them teams, and they're first and second in the league, respectively. You know, kills me to say it, but
yeah. I think you're right. We go into these games, and the saying is always, you know, it's a derby, form goes out the window. But not this time. Not this time. And I think the one thing that we all as fans can ask ourselves, we're very much aware that there's a massive gap in class between the two sides and form. But just go out and just respect the badge and just give 100%. That's what we want, you know. And I think if we go out and we play to the best of our ability, everybody plays with their head up and tries. And if we lose, we lose. But the way we were in December when we played them and they just absolutely annihilated us, like we can't have that again.
No.
That's the thing. The chance today, Jordan, you're not fit to wear the badge. I mean, the players are hearing that now. We're actually at the games. They know how the fans feel. They'll know through social media interactions and everything like that. They'll know, like, it's the least that you can expect is for the players to turn up and put a full-on shift in. And personally, for me, I've not seen a full-on shift all season.
No, I haven't, and that's what I'm saying. You know, it's just you want the senior players in the dressing room. You want a Ronaldo or someone like that to take the team to talk and just look. This is what it means to be a United player. This is what it means to wear the badge. And then you look around the dressing room. Someone like Rashford, who is Manchester born and bred, like. Step up, represent your badge, represent us as fans, and just give a good account of ourselves. And that's what we can ask. We understand we are where we are as a club. We're not saying we're level pegging with Liverpool. You know, the light is on them at the moment. But just play with some fucking pride. Like, that's what we want.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and that's where the frustrations come from today. I've never, obviously, I've been very blessed to have grown up in an era where Sir Alex Ferguson was at the helm, and there was no toxicity and any of that. And you think what we've seen over the last few years, we've had the Stretford end basically arguing with Paul Pogba last game of the season, you know, fans shouting at him, you shit and all that. We see these videos because of social media and because people can capture it. And even today, like Beth says, you know, United fans singing, "You're not fit to wear the shirt." You just never have ever heard anything like that. If everybody's hurting, you know, United don't have any divine right to be at the top. We want to be challenging. That's where we want to be back. But to me, that just struck a chord today. I know there was protests before the game. There was fans that come in on the 17th minute to mark the 17 years that, you know, the Glazers have been in charge at Manchester United and that. So it was kind of an emotional kind of day. But to hear that sung today, you know, "You're not fit to wear the shirt," I'm like, you know, we've just never seen the likes of it, are we? You try to sort of like get your head around it more than anything.
That's the thing. This team is so disconnected from the fans now, and I just don't see a way back for a lot of these players. One way back would be actually having the attitude that a lot of us have got today, which is, yeah, maybe it's going to be a hard task, but top four is now back on the table. Go out and give everything that you can to try and make it up to the fans. Whether it'll happen is one thing, but at least give it everything you've got going into these next few games. But next week, I think, is the decider. Liverpool and Arsenal, that is the deciding week. You've got to at least take 3 points off Arsenal. If you don't take 3 points off Arsenal, you might as well just call it a day.
Yeah.
Do you think now Arsenal on the back of a loss, we're off the back of a win? I know we've got Liverpool to play, but going into the Arsenal game, is that for you where top four is won and lost, Kev?
Yes. If you've got any aspiration of finishing in the top four, it pains me to say this, but the game against Liverpool is, I suppose in fantasy football kind of terms, it's kind of a free hit. because expectation level, I don't think any of us here would agree that we can go there and win. You know, if we did, I'm not saying it's a miracle, but not many people would be backing Manchester United to go to Anfield and win. It's a tough place to go anyway, but I just think the golfing class at the minute, it's, you know, you've got fans. I'm talking to mates of mine, and they're like, if we could get away with a draw, that'd be great. And I'm like, God, you know, how the mighty have fallen. You know, we're talking about getting a draw at Anfield would be a great result. And in past years, it would have been, but that's when we were challenging for titles. We were up there. That a draw at Anfield would have been viewed as a good result, but it's kind of damage limitation for me, because I don't know what game plan, what to go with. I'm seeing people in the comments throwing in, you know, park the bus, and I just don't think you can sit back against a team like Liverpool, and then you kind of write that off as a free hit, and you're looking at the Arsenal game, you have to win it. You have to go there and send a statement out. And Arsenal are low at the minute. They're not in great form. If we can go there and beat them, just sends a bit of a message out, doesn't it? And it really is between us, Arsenal and Tottenham. So all we can do is win our games. I certainly don't expect us to win at Anfield, but there's other games in the calendar you look at and you think, if we start putting a bit of a run together, but again, it's just consistency. We don't, even the manner of how we've won today isn't consistent. Even when we beat Norwich before Christmas, we were totally outplayed by them, but we won 1-0. This is a team that's bottom of the league, you know, bottom of the league. Yeah, Kev's finding himself getting excited about beating them 3-2.
That's the thing. It's a different it's a different result from the Everton game. It's a different result than what we've had. But the performance was for me just as poor, especially in that second half. Like, the tempo of it was so slow. Holly, looking into the game coming up, looking into the Liverpool game, is there any changes that you'd make from that starting 11 going into that game?
I would definitely get. It's just with injuries, isn't it? We've got a few out injured at the moment, but whatever we can do to get Tellez off the pitch, in my opinion, after today, would help a lot. Any form of getting the ball into the box would help more than he did today. Maguire again.
Holly's not in Tellez at all, are you?
No, I'm not. I've been weary of it for a while, but today I'm just like, no, you're rubbish. I'm sorry. Like, and if you want to disagree with me, you can, but you're wrong.
Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you. You are fiery. I'm not disagreeing with you.
But even the likes of Maguire, I'm just waiting for the Maguire show on Tuesday. I really am. This is going to be like Comedy Central. This is going to be like. This is just going to be, well, not for us, obviously, because we'll be on the tails end of it. But for other teams watching on Tuesday now, this will be like comedy gold watching Maguire. I can just see the mistakes he's going to make now. He'll probably have a great game now and we'll win 3-0, Maguire hat-trick. But I'll have that all day. But yeah, other than that, I'm not...
This is not a chance that's happening, Holly.
I'm pretty safe in that aspect. But I feel like Rashford will play, which I'm not positive about, but just I don't know what he's going to do. I really don't. Good luck to him. That's all I can say, Ralph. Good luck.
That's the thing, isn't it, John? It's like going into this game. It's like you're going into it with that mindset already. Like, the game's already lost. As sad as it is, like, the players shouldn't be doing that. But as fans, just because of the start difference, that's what we're going about it. But you know what? I was watching Brighton Spurs today. Brighton have now took points off Spurs. They took points off Liverpool. They've took points off City. I mean, you can do it. It's just going about in the right way. Do you think Ralph has the capabilities to do it? And what changes would you be looking to make?
Are you saying we're the Brighton of the North?
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it's possible.
No, listen, I wouldn't disagree with you, to be honest.
I mean, you want the Suma, so maybe.
Yeah, like I said earlier, look, we understand we are where we are. Liverpool are, one of the best teams in the world at the moment. As much as it hurts us, that's who they are. What we need is for our team to just give a good account of ourselves. You look at the teams that we've just played. We struggled against Norwich, didn't beat Everton, and now we're playing, a team that's in the semi-finals of the Champions League. So, on paper, it doesn't make for great reading. But we want our team to give a good account of ourselves. I think then following up with that with Arsenal, I see back-to-back losses for Arsenal at the moment, and they've got a number of players injured. I have arguments with Arsenal fans now, not about who's the best, just about who's the worst. That's where we've got to. Like, literally, they're the conversations that we have. We throw shades at each other about whose results are worse. So, yeah, I think we can go to Arsenal. We can beat Arsenal. And then we just need to keep relying on Spurs being inconsistent. But honestly, I'm really not trying to look at that table and buy into this top four dream again, because it just hurts. Because at 2-0, I started looking at it foolishly. Like I said, 2-2, I was ready to smash my laptop. And then we managed to get another goal. So I'm not looking at the table.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it, Jordan? I can just imagine you sat there getting really angry. But
Human. I'm on 4 hours sleep as well. Like, I'm just tamping looking at my laptop at 2-2.
Yeah. You've always been Mr. Negative, though, a little bit, haven't you?
Beth, I'm not negative. I'm realistic. We are crap. And as much as, like, you know, sometimes in your little Disneyland, you look at it and go, oh my God, Ollie's going to save us and we're going to win the league. In the real world, we are in the real world, we are not good. So I've got to be realistic.
You honestly, you're annoying.
Right, listen, don't poke the bear, and then when you get a reaction, then you don't like it. You asked for that.
Exactly. Well, it is what it is. Norwich, move on, John. You put me off. Norwich was poor performance. We've been poor all season. I'm taking on Jordan's role now. I'm Mr. Negative over here, but looking forward, still top four is still on the cards, and we've got slight hope back in us. Well, me, Holly, and Kev have. Jordan, he's still on his negative bandwagon over there. But realistically, before we go, I'm going to ask you all, the panel, seeing it has been a topic conversation on our minds tonight. Yes or no? Are we getting top four? Kev?
I'm going to be absolutely reckless here. Yes! Yes! Of course we are, man.
And that is just typical United. That is just typical United fan tackle, isn't it?
They just reel me in, right? They give me that little glimmer of hope. We get smashed at Anfield. Arsenal will beat us, and then we'll be here discussing, and I'll be like, God, I made myself look like a right tit the other week when I said we get top four and there's no chance of getting it. But yeah, of course, you got to have a bit of positivity after today, surely, unless anyone wants to disagree with me.
Got to be a dreamer in life, Kev. I like the attitude. Jordan?
Exactly.
Dreamer, you're away with the fairies. Listen, no, we won't finish top four, but I do think we're going to get a Europa League. And if you'd have asked me after the Everton game, I would have said we weren't going to finish in the Europa League. So that is a little bit of positivity.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
Glass half full.
Glass
half full, man. That's what I am.
I think the only reason why we might get top four is because of Ronaldo. So I think Ronaldo will get us top four, not Man United.
Oh my God. I've actually managed to convince the panel that we might be getting top four.
Yeah, that's your fault, Beth.
Exactly, my fault. I don't think we are getting top four, just to come back in. I mean, I just don't think there's a chance. But you know what? You do. You guys have that opinion, and hopefully it does come true. But I agree with you. If anyone's going to get it for us, it will be Ronaldo. But, you know, Jordan's got us in the Europa League. European football is on the cards, it seems like. So that's a positive to take in to the rest of the weekend. But guys, thank you for coming on. Thank you for discussing the game. Hopefully the fan forum streak carries on a winning streak. But Kev, thank you. Plans for tonight?
Thank you very much. Whilst we were just discussing things there, I just had a quick look on a betting website. United to win 3-0. Harry Maguire hat-trick against Liverpool is 450 million to 1. So that might be worth a pound, Holly.
Yeah, I'm putting a pound on that.
Yeah, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out actually to somebody that messaged me last night. I never really go on Facebook, and I got all these kind of voice messages. I know it sounds a bit dodgy, this, but he's called Grant from Cape Town in South Africa, and he says he watches the United stand religiously and that, and I know whatever time it is there, he said he was staying up to watch it after the match. He'll be watching this, so I just wanted to say appreciate it. And obviously, everybody in the live comments and everything, you know, all the messages, obviously, supporting the channel and stuff. So thank you very much.
Oh, that was a nice note to leave it on, Kev. Yeah,
Cheers,
thank you, guys. That's made my day a bit happier. Go on, Jordan. DJing?
Yeah, DJing. It's a long Easter weekend, but always time to come on the United stand and talk to you guys and talk to the fans and be nice and positive, Beth.
Exactly. Do you know, we need a show of like Jordan's DJing, and you'll have you DJing on the show talking about United. I think that could work. We'll figure something out. Exactly.
Sounds
It's a good idea. I'll send that over to the boss. But Ollie, advance for tonight. Happy to carry on the weekend with a win.
Yeah, the win means the most. Happy Ronaldo got his hat trick again. Just proves that he's the GOAT, and he always will be. So, but no plans tonight. Just a quiet one for me. Staying out of trouble.
Exactly. That's at least you can.
Opposite to me then.
Kev, you're never on a chilled night, you.
No,
honestly. Get the red wine out again.
It's Easter weekend, isn't it? I'm not back to work till Tuesday, so.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Everyone have an amazing Easter weekend. Thank you, everyone in the chats, for getting your messages in. And yeah, make sure you give the video a like. And hopefully, Manchester United continue to win games. And European football is on the card. So we'll see you all on the next.